The parable of pipeline, the rules of 72, the rules of the rich. To better understand how rich people get richer, let's take a look at the rules of 72, a mind-boggling wealth-building concept that the world's top investment brokers teach their rich clients. The rule of 70 is a simple formula for calculating how many years it would take for an investment to double. Here is the way it works. Doubling concept of rule of 72. Number 1, determine the annual interest rate on your investment. Number 2, divide the interest rate into 72. Number 3, the result is the number of years it takes for your investment to double. For example, let's say Harris invests $100,000 in stock that pays an annual return of 10% per year. Here's the rule of 72 in action. Rule of 72 in action. Step 1, 100,000 original investment. Step 2, 10% annual return. Step 3, 72 divided by 10 equals 7.2 years. The payoff 100,000 would become $100,000 would become $200,000 in 7.2 years. If you Harris didn't spend the profit or her principal, the original investment of $100,000 would double to $200,000 in 7.2 years, to $400,000 in 14.4 years, to $800,000 in 21.6 years, and 1.6 million in 28.8 years, and on and on. As you can see, the longer the money is allowed to compound, the bigger size of the pipeline. By leveraging the power of compounding, people who inherit billion-dollar fortunes can live like royalty and still leave an even bigger fortune for their children. The magic of compounding is the reason that thousands of heirs named Kennedy, DuPont, Firestone, Ford, Rockefeller, and Getty can continue to live life of luxury without their fortunes drying up. In fact, the bucket never runs dry because the pipeline keeps pumping year after year for decades, or in case of the Rothschild heirs in Europe for more than 2 centuries. Keys and money. Fortunately, pipelines built by leveraging money aren't reserved just for rich people. Average people can take advantage of the doubling concept too, as we learned from the story about Margaret O'Donnell, a low-paid school teacher who amassed several $1 million by leveraging her money in the stock market. So, how do average people leverage their money to create a long-term pipeline? The best way to answer that is to tell you about a powerful little book called Keys and Money by Michael J. Schurz. Actually, the book could be titled People and Money because the principles outlined by Schurz apply to young and old alike. Schurz, a former power broker on Wall Street and father of 4, recommends a simple system to teach kids to manage their money more responsibly. He suggests that parents get 3 plastic jars and label jars on spend and give, one spend and give, jar 2 save, and jar 3 invest. When parents give their children their allowance for the week, they divide the money equally into the 3 jars. The spend and give jar is for immediate spending, bubblegum, baseball card, etc. It's also money to be used for tithing and charity. Charity. The save jar is for spending on bigger ticket items such as new CD or video game. The invest jar differ from first two jar that is not for spending ever. Church call this jar the most important component because we don't have something to put away for our rainy day. The threat of debt will always hover above our heads. Adults who are serious about building long-term investment pipelines need to start managing their money according to our three-jar system. But instead of putting their money into jars, they should put it into bank and brokerage accounts. Pay yourself first. The key to leveraging your money like rich people do is to pay yourself first by making regular monthly contributions into investment accounts and then leaving the money to compound. The best way to fund your investment pipelines is to take some money out of your income bucket each month and deposit it into your pipelines. How average people become millionaires. Too bad we weren't able to choose rich parents. Then we wouldn't have to worry about forced savings plans and automatic payroll deductions. But the truth is, the vast majority of millionaires in the country didn't inherit their fortunes. Statistics show that 4 out of 5 millionaires never inherited more than $10,000. But what they did do was copy the investment strategies for Rockefellers and Kennedys. In a word, self-made millionaires leveraged their money to build their own Palm Beach pipelines. How? By using the three-jar system. Instead of spending every dime they make, they put aside a big chunk of their income in the invest jars and let it compound year after year. Typically, millionaires save 15% to 20% of their gross income and invest it wisely in asset building pipelines such as stocks, bonds, closely held business, rental property, commercial real estate, pension funds, and the like. That's why most millionaires don't hit the $1 million mark until they are in their 50s or 60s. It can take decades before compounding really kicks into high gear. $10,000 at 10% doubles to $200,000 after 7 years. But in so years, it'll double 7 times, which calculates to almost 1.3 millions.